Hey, what is up everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Polkadot, which is currently up nearly 2%. And today we have a lot of news to discuss regarding the entire market. It's been absolutely huge news for this week and practically for the entire year. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But before we jump into all of it, I want to ask you guys to check out the Discord down below. You can see on the screen right now just how many trades our members have been winning from simply joining and starting to copy and paste the trades we're sending out to them every single day. It's absolutely insane. You could be doing the exact same thing from simply joining up and copy and pasting the trades that we're sending out to you into your exchange and profiting like you're seeing on the screen right now. Make sure you do that. It will be the first link in the description. Super easy to join up, and when you join up, me and my team will help you get set up. Now back to the video. So before we actually take a full look at Polkadot, which I'll quickly give you a brief rundown, which we're going to get into more in depth just in a second. But yeah, overall we've been crashing. I've said under $4 Polkadot is an extremely good buy. We've hit Polkadot under $4 multiple times. I said under $5 is an okay buy. You know, you should be looking to buy under 5. Under 4 you should be really looking to scale in, and we're looking to take profits slightly higher up. But the news I want to discuss is what is absolutely bleeding today, which is the S&P. Now yesterday we had Trump announce mega tariffs, and this wasn't just tariffs on China, Canada and Mexico. This was global tariffs. I think he enforced tariffs on like over 50 countries, the UK, India, Vietnam, China, you know, so many countries. And these tariffs weren't small. They weren't 5 to 10% tariffs. You know, they ranged up to 40-50%, and that's been harming the S&P. But what is really strange is that Bitcoin wasn't actually harmed that badly. Whenever this would really happen, we see Bitcoin crash, you know, 5 to 10% at minimum. We've seen it previously crash 10, 15, 20% in a single day. That's not been the case this time. Is this a delayed reaction, or does the market just feel like Bitcoin is moderately priced in here? You know, we've already sort of expected the worst from Donald Trump in the form of tariffs, and that's why Bitcoin fell from 110 to 80, 82. You know, we've practically experienced the worst, but the S&P hasn't. And again, we, you know, predicted this move. We didn't predict the tariffs, although a lot of people probably saw them coming. You know, we predicted that it will fall to this support level, and honestly really think tomorrow it will probably start to climb back up a bit. I don't expect it to, you know, pump back up, but I think tomorrow we'll start to see a consolidation. This stuff always happens. We see a crash and then next day it will consolidate. But yeah, huge news. You know, this affected the entire global economy, and it's all poised to really get lower interest rates. And we've been talking about this for so many videos, so I'm sorry if this is becoming repetitive, but essentially how these tariffs are going to work in Trump's favor is, I'll quickly give you the backstory. So Trump will need to borrow roughly $2 trillion for the USA. You know, that's going to be the annualized debt for 2025, and that's what it's believed to be after, you know, all expenses and revenue collected. They're going to need to borrow $2 trillion. So instead of borrowing it at the current rate, which is very high, you know, when you're borrowing $2 trillion, every single point of a decimal percent matters in interest. So what Trump is doing is, by increasing tariffs, he's hoping that it's going to harm the economy slightly in the short term. And again, he said we're going to experience short-term pain, and that's what we're seeing. And when he harms the economy in the short term, it forces the Fed to lower these interest rates. Now, where Trump could get caught out is if inflation spikes. And if inflation spikes, you know, for whatever reason, most probable reason being that a lot of countries will just stop importing to the US, which I highly doubt. The US is an absolute conglomerate of a market. It's gargantuan, biggest market in the world probably, you know, just from how much revenue it generates. But definitely a lot of countries will now have to reevaluate how they're exporting their goods. And I know we're swaying away a bit from crypto, but again, this is all going to come back, you know, into crypto. And if those countries decide to stop, then inflation will start to spike up, cost of goods will start to get more expensive, you know, manufacturing, everything like that is more expensive, and that's when the interest rates won't get lowered. So that's the main risk. We have the next FOMC meeting, which essentially dictates and decides what interest rate we get, whether it's a cut or a hike. That's going to be in May, and we're going to have back to back FOMC meetings in May, June, July. And I think it was Goldman Sachs that I read believe that there will be at least 3 interest rate cuts this year. Now, if we get back to back interest rate cuts in the next month, that will be huge. You will see the the market absolutely explode. You know, Bitcoin will probably rally up to high 120s, low 140s, maybe high 130s. We'll see alts absolutely explode. Polkadot easily $10, $11, $12 minimum. The market will be in a very, very good position, and Trump's plan will have worked effectively. And what that then will allow him to do is obviously utilize that, you know, extra saved money from the interest on other things to actually better the economy in the longer term, which again, low interest rates will also do. So it'll cause a snowball effect, and it's sort of like a roller coaster that we get in the market. You know, this was the bear market, then we get obviously the election starting and Trump starting to win, Trump announcing more crypto, and Trump wins the election, and this is like his inauguration. Trump gets inaugurated, makes a lot of changes first day, and people start selling the news. Trump's already in office. You know, people already rode the hype, now they're going to start selling. So that causes a little bit of a crash here. Then we obviously start getting tariffs. Now people start getting uncertain, and the market, it really doesn't like that. So we start crashing more. You know, more tariffs, more bad news, boom, 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 crash. And then we start to slow down, which is what we're kind of seeing now. Then what we really need to get this back up, and instead of us, you know, just crashing back down, is some sort of catalyst. And that catalyst would be interest rates. If we get low interest rates, amazing. Boom, that starts the initial catapult up. After we get some good news and the market is back into its upward trajectory and we have momentum, it will react a lot better when we get smaller news. You know, this news could be ETFs. Oh, we have a Polkadot ETF filing. Boom, up 5%. Now we're here. Okay, now, you know, we get whatever, next month, lower interest rates again. Oh wow, huge spike up. Then continue. Oh, what is this? You know, a new ETF filing, or just overall crypto great news. Boom, continue going up. Now we have crypto reserve news. Boom, continue going up. And that's sort of how we ride the market. That's not to say that this is continuously going up. We will come back down during the next bear market, and then it'll just continue going like that. The market sort of likes to work in these roller coasters, and I mean, it's very, very evident. You know, if we just zoom out here, ignore 2021, this was an insane year. If we just look at what we're looking at right now for Polkadot, we don't have to target $50. It's at an extremely valuable low that we can simply just enter in $4, under $4, target not even the previous highs. You can just target, you know, $8 if you really want, which is sort of the median, and you're already going to be up 2x. Stake up, there's 15-16% APR. Yeah, you have to wait 28 days, whatever, to unstake. That's going to be, with compounding from a 2x, 2.2, 2.3x. Easy. A 3x from here with compounding from the staking, 3.3, 3.5x. These gains are insane, and that's what we're really looking for. So it's not like we're looking to get a 10, 100x on Polkadot. We're just buying up coins right now that are extreme lows where there's a lot of value, but when the market does come back up, because the market will come back up, it's not like the market is just gonna stay dumped, especially not with Trump as president. You know, a lot of people seem to forget that we're in such a better state right now than we were in, for example, September of 2023, you know, September of 2024. We're in a way better state. We have a pro-crypto president, we have a pro-crypto SEC, we have crypto reserve coming this year, most likely, in the USA. We might actually start getting lower interest rates in the USA very, very soon. Yeah, there's also negative news and a lot of conflict. We have, you know, wars that haven't been ended yet, which hopefully will get ended once we start getting these lower interest rates, because you have to remember again, you know, Trump is trying to do what's best for the USA, might not be trying to do what's best for the entire world. Once he gets those lower interest rates, he might be able to take a little bit of that focus off and start to focus on larger priorities. And then obviously that will cause better news, and the market will just continue rallying until it obviously stops. And that's why we're not looking to necessarily go for $50, because we're not back in that stage yet, and we have to be sort of realistic with ourselves. Yeah, Polkadot could go to $20, $25, but the market conditions have to be perfect. With these conditions, we can easily hit $12. We did it in November, we did it back in March. Market conditions weren't insane then, especially not in March, and I think it's very, very easily achievable, at least again right now, and that's what we're going to be looking to do. Now, if you did enjoy the video and you did find it helpful, please do make sure to like and subscribe, and again, check out the Discord down below to start joining and copying my trades every single day and start winning like you're seeing